Stop denying me. I know they're there. There it is. We're underway.
Yeah, there it is.
And
The sheep have spoken, and we're on.
one cool thing to like Glazo, I want to went into a game to talk about this because like you talked about the English and how they don't use high view well. It's interesting to mention that because it feels like one civ that can use high view well is based on its auras, which is the Mongols, right? They benefit from the cavalry raids of Yam. But the English don't seem to have that flexibility to set up that outpost network, at least not in the early mid-game, even though they benefit a lot from the attack speed buffer.
Yeah, I mean it's just a slower civ than Mongol. Mongol is like all over the place. You know, it's so hard to also get map control against Mongol to like actually scout where the towers are going. Like you can be fighting and there's like 4 towers going up, but you don't know because it's all stealth forest and it's all hidden. With English, because the English army is slower, it's a lot easier to get scouting on your opponent because it's, I feel like, maybe less chaotic. But I think what you said earlier about you know, being able to scout Rus player is a lot harder is very much true. Like if you see them with a bunch of villagers on wood, like does that mean he's going archer ranges? Does that mean he's going knights? Or is he just going to buy stone and go second TC? Where, like you mentioned, if you see English, it's a lot easier to scout. If you see like farm count, if you see where the villagers are at, you know, they can't sell food or wood from a second landmark and just age up super quickly. They kind of have to collect gold over time. So Rus is definitely more sneak in this one. But I do think, like I said, both civs can be played kind of many different ways. I mean, Rus can even go professional scouts.
That's true.
Right? Like the English doesn't need that deer, won't even contest it. And getting deer through these stealth forests is, you know, probably the easiest map to do it on, because if you pick up the deer, you just go random way, and how's the opponent gonna, you know, see where the scout went? It's very, very hard to keep track of that.
Even a lot of the like the game-oriented plays, right? The deer and the boar that the Rus make, the English don't counter out very well. Like even if you talk about the whole idea of getting a ram early to deal with the boar expansion, the timing that the Rus do it at is a little bit too fast, right? We see the 4.5-minute pull towards the boar. They're there by 5 minutes. The Wooden Fortress is up by 6. And you're not going to have Blacksmith plus Siege Engineering as English by then. So by the time you actually crack that, they've already exploited a lot of value. So I think you're right. Between that and the Pro Scouts opportunity, it's very hard for the English to deny food income from the Rus. And I think like to those other ends, like the things like the TC boom, to the way you hide this, I think a lot of it speaks to the power of the Golden Gate that enables that flexibility of the Rus, right? It has to be, I'd say, arguably the best tier 2 landmark in the game.
Yeah, it's very, very good, and you know, you not only early game, right? It's one of the age 2 landmarks is actually really good in the 4th age as well.
Yep.
In the Imperial, because if you stack up those tickets, you can just, you know, if there's no gold on the map, you can sell a bunch of things, get that actual good value on selling, or you can buy stone, or you can just do so many things with it, and it's just a really, really good landmark. And of course, we do see, you know, no Kremlin landmark coming out. We see, what a shocker!
What a surprise!
We do see the Golden Gate. But on the other side, LucifroN, he did not go for wheelbarrow, right? He just went fastest possible field. Oh, we do see second TC. Love that.
Okay, yeah. I was a little bit concerned because I was like, please don't do a longbow rush against this civil. Like it's tough to pull
just
off.
too chaotic. Like you can't catch the workers. You don't know where he's gathering food. It just, I'm not gonna say it doesn't work. It's just so annoying.
It's harder to make it work against the Rus, right? Because your options are limited as well. Because you can say, oh, I can just focus on their wood, but like you don't have that flexibility to say they're on gold and wood, right? So their attention is going to be split. Like the Rus just ignore gold; they don't need it. So.
Yeah, so there's less things to, that's a good point. There's less things to attack as well. And yeah, we do see that, by the way, MarineLorD gets a super early scout. So he knows what's happening. Like he saw the stone. This isn't for stone walls, guys. This is for second TC for sure. And he knows what's happening. So MarineLorD's decision from here on out will be directly, you know, linked to this, and it will be his response, what he wants to do against second TC. Whether he wants to go for castle, you know, one of the options is go castle and take the relics and then get your second TC. One of the options is maybe try to be aggressive. But the problem is being aggressive against English is extremely, extremely hard because they get that attack speed. Their TCs are basically like machine guns. And it's just very hard to attack English at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and also MarineLorD, I think he got a glance on that council hall being built up quickly, hence why the likelihood of him going for a ball play is decreased, right? Because you know by the time you get there, there's probably going to be free longbow waiting for you. So looks like we're not going to see a ball pull out MarineLorD. He's just going to like maintain himself. And I think you're right, like the Castle Age rush can make a lot of sense. We have seen some players that prefer to go for the second TC early and then go castle first, Castle later rather, but I feel like usually the Castle Age play makes a lot of sense, but okay.
There
Wow.
He's just saying, you know what, I'm gonna go second TC. That's actually interesting, and he's not even buying tickets, right? No, he did spend a ticket.
Yeah, he spent the gold on the wheelbarrow, right? And he's going for the ball play anyway.
No, but he doesn't have the tickets in the Golden Gate, so he bought something already.
Yeah, maybe with the wood. I think the wood, which would sound crazy, but it's the only thing I can think of here. Either that or he ran out of food. It looks like he's actually playing the TC towards the deer site and the wood as well. So a pretty greedy extension, but you kind of see where he's coming from when he's already seen that LucifroN plans to go for a second TC.
Yeah, I mean, interesting. MarineLorD is just saying, you know what, let's take this a little bit later into the game. Now, the advantage of the English in this matchup, and we see it right here, it's one of the very few civs, including French, that can get a second TC and actually kill you right after. Because now LucifroN is getting so much food income and wood that he can just produce spearmen, a longbow from here on out, and just try to put pressure on the opponent, because those units are cheap, you know, they're the cheapest infantry you can get. And in order to deal with it, you can't make archers, right? You need to make knights or horsemen, you know, different units that are more expensive. So even though you're both on second TC and you're both kind of gathering resources, the English player can force you into these trades and into these battles that maybe you don't want to be kind of dealing with. But right now he's not producing anything. Lack of food, maybe? There's a spearman coming up.
Yeah, it looks like MarineLorD is just saving the Castle Age, so it's going to be the TC into the Castle Age rush. And now it's on LucifroN to move out, spot this, and actually aggress it. But the issue he has right now is his scout is kind of being drawn over here, right? I think his other one is looking for the TC expansion, but I don't think he's seen it yet. It's hidden by the stealth forest, as he has got one scout parked to the northeast side of MarineLorD's base.
Yeah, and MarineLorD, I mean, this is gonna be a crazy. Yep, he sees it now. This is gonna be a crazy fast age up. By the way, he has a second TC, and he might age up at like 8:30. So,
but look at the forces coming.
Decent position. Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. He's just gonna, you know, print out spearman longbow. Oh, MarineLorD pours a boar in order to kill the spearman. Always a cute move. And that spearman, I mean, he takes a lot of damage, so it's a small thing he can do, and got a couple of hits on that spearman.
Even gets the scout away alive, and you see he's sneaking the outpost. Remember, folks, TCs don't get good vision into stealth forest, so he might suspect it, but MarineLorD doesn't see this. He can't attack it. It's just going to be free outpost up, and with that attack speed buffer, remember that does affect RAM. So if LucifroN then goes into siege engineering, it's going to be pretty easy to blitz through this expansion TC.
And we do see LucifroN is gathering stone, so that tower will be upgraded. Unless this tower finishes. Unless this tower... Oh, but there's units coming. Yeah, this is going to be a worker or two maybe going down.
He needs it, though.
One.
He will complete it. Oh, garrison. There we go. Rest can go back to gathering. Looks like instead of building military forces, he's just going to use villagers.
That's going to be finished. Oh my god, look at the health of those villagers. Oh, no. Those villagers have no health at all. They're like 1 health each.
Wow. And he kills both the scouts. He forces the villagers further back. I mean, it's going to stabilize
And that tower is wasted, by the way. Completely. Like, that tower is just wasted. Look at those villagers. 2 health.
Ouch. I mean, that stings LucifroN, but that cuts deep for MarineLorD because now more outposts going up, and I wouldn't be surprised if a blacksmith's being dropped now by LucifroN to prep for the siege.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, the problem for LucifroN is he sees barracks going up, and trusting us, he's not thinking, oh god, the spearmen are coming. He knows if these barracks are going up, he knows that this is men-at-arms, which he can safely assume that MarineLorD is aging up, and MarineLorD just finished aging up. So, unfortunate positioning on the barracks because he's managing to deny it with longbows. But yeah, he's just gonna go into pure man-at-arm, and this is the kind of the cue for LucifroN. He's going castle. You need to age up right now while holding these 2 towers. Like, he doesn't need to kill MarineLorD now. He just needs to be around here to make sure that these men-at-arms don't march to his base and just kind of, mow down his economy very quickly. And MarineLorD, of course, should be and is rushing the +1 ranged armor because he wants those men-at-arms to just be able to tank damage and just be invincible.
It also denies that win condition around Siege, right, for LucifroN. He can't rely on Rams now because the man-at-arms can just dive in and torch you. So I think you're right. It has to be up into Castle now. The good thing is that if he keeps these outposts up, that's going to be established network given the attack speed buffer. And it means his man-at-arms can actually outdo the Roost ones, courtesy of not only the attack speed, but also the armor clad. And not quite enough there.
That's very smart from LucifroN. He was running around, seeing what he can pick off, saw the landmark, and then waited for the Monk to come out to try and snipe it, and almost gets it down. So very good attempt. I mean, if he got that would have actually been a really, really good pick off, because it would prevent Relic picking up, delay the gold income and all that. And we do see first 3 men-at-arms angry, running at those villagers.
Yep, Kronk trying to smash, but it looks like LucifroN is trying to make sure he loses vision, but it's not going to work out. He's going to be pursued. Remember, those villagers were heavily injured, barely alive, so they'll easily be clapped down with the man-at-arms. Looks like there is a raid onto the secondary TC as some pressure is being applied on the MarineLorD. LucifroN is just trying to distract him on multiple fronts while he's not being eco-harassed at all.
Yeah, he managed to deny those deer there under the TC. I mean, those towers will probably be there for a bit. They won't necessarily do any real damage from here on out, but they're kind of just saying, like, I have an outpost here, I can see what you're doing. MarineLorD doesn't really want to engage into it right now, so it blocks some of the map. And yeah, we do see some men-at-arms arriving, but there's about 6-7 units trying to deal with that one guy, and he goes down.
Yeah, he's looking like a juggernaut at this stage, and LucifroN hasn't even started switching the man-at-arms just yet. Looks like he might have an intent to go elsewhere. Could be a play into something like Knights, so he has the dynamic element. Whoa. Yeah, good luck with the loose leaf.
Oh, no, don't play like that.
I mean, that's a 190
like
health unit. That's not your typical monk.
Yeah, I was worried he's going to commit because it looked like for a second he's just like, yeah, I'll try to kill that.
Yeah, the you what, mate moment.
Just to get out, and that is the second relic. I mean, the thing is, if there's any civ that... If there's any civ that is like, you know what, take your relics, I don't care. It is English, right? Because they will have the gold in the late game, so it's a very good thing for MarineLorD, but not the biggest loss for LucifroN. Like, if this was, a Mongol versus Rus or French versus Rus, this is a much, much bigger deal. And we do see he's slowly setting up farms. He is going to castle. And one thing to note, even though MarineLorD built a second TC, he's actually about to be behind the TC, because English is about to have 3. And English is slowly setting up farms. So this is a point in the game where it's kind of favoring LucifroN more and more. Because the longer the game goes, MarineLorD will run out of food sources and will have to go farms. But LucifroN's farms are very cheap. And he's kind of setting his economy up right now. And there's going to be a point where MarineLorD has to go for farms. And LucifroN will be full-on production, just pumping out units. And that might be the point that, kind of overwhelms MarineLorD.
Yeah, and you can see he's planned to pump out the Knights, so will be pretty effective on the front line considering there's already a few outposts set up, which means if MarineLorD gets drawn out towards them, the attack speed buffer is going to give the edge over. This might be where MarineLorD needs to switch into some Spearmen, which do need to still be upgraded. I'm not sure the man-at-arms actually spot the stables. It looks like he might have just been out of range when he was harassing outside of LucifroN's base, so this might be a hidden hand, but maybe not for long. As a new force of man-at-arms rides in, not really going to find easy targets, but...
That is a fresh batch. I mean, that's the thing. They shouldn't kill anything, right? Because, they're so slow, you can just run. But they're just annoying, They don't take damage from arrows. You got to send in Knights. And, you're just pulling workers left and right. So, even though MarineLorD will lose all of these, he will pick off... Oh, there's one villager. He will pick off a villager or two. And there we go. More idle time.
A ridiculous
So, in the end, I think they're very much worth it, I would say, for this stage of the game. And also gives MarineLorD some time to prepare for the Knights, right? He needs to make something against them. So it's kind of like a delay on LucifroN's attack.
And this is what I love about the English, right? It's like, oh no, what do you mean there's no room inside the structure for me to garrot? Okay, I guess I better pull out my bow and attack. Doesn't do much, but...
Strelbora!
Good old Strelbora.
Wrong unit, but, they all try to be Strelboras. We do see a great wall of LucifroN. Oh, I would love if this was stone walls already. Just kind of be like, you know what? I'm just throwing down a stone wall. Oh, he's trying to find the monk. He's splitting the knights. You can see, but
The gap! The gap! The gap! No! Okay, he sees
oh
him.
my! Oh, he sees it.
MarineLorD, that's too late
He
for a
sees it,
wall.
but does he see it?
Nope, he doesn't.
Oh
no.
The knight
Alright.
is like, you're in front of me. Oh, I don't see you anymore.
He just looks back, he Jedi
And-
mind tricks him, he's like, you saw nothing. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll just go back on patrol.
Don't make me wall you. And he's like, oh, all right.
Do you really want to follow me into this forest? I'm warning you, there's like 10 Roost Knights waiting in there. He's like, okay, no problems. So, yeah.
Did you see? He even goes on the sacred side, and the moment he did, all the knights moved. He's like, yeah, I'm here. And wait, where's he?
LucifroN,
LucifroN is such a nice guy. He's like, you don't have this relic. Take all 5, actually.
Yeah, here,
Okay.
like, let me have a sacred site, and I'll give you a relic. It's a fair trade.
Yeah. Oh, he's like, actually, you know
Whoops,
what?
no, yeah, you've got 4 already. I don't think I'm gonna be that generous.
Yeah, and the night harassment starts. No walls from MarineLorD, by the way. And this map, I mentioned it earlier, is very, very good for raiding. And MarineLorD has no towers, no walls. So any kind of raiding is going to be so hard for him to see. I mean, oh, third TC.
Okay.
Okay, MarineLorD, guys, we're having another 1-hour game.
Yeah. Buckle
MarineLorD
yourself in.
saying, you know what? Let's go late game.
I mean,
I can't do anything right now. Let's just delay this game.
like that
and go
last
into Super Late
series
game.
was 6 games, but they weren't long games. In fact, at this rate, by the time we're through 3 games, it might end up being longer than the last series. Yeah, they definitely want to be up late tonight. Degenerate gamers, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good game, so, you know, you gotta go for it. And we do have the very late game civs on like I said, a map that you just don't run out of wood. But it's gonna be interesting to see how MarineLorD deals with it, because he seems to be kind of forfeiting middle, right? Early to mid game, he's just saying like, you know what, I'm gonna just play defensively and let's just both go late game. But I do feel, like I said, that English has the advantage in there. So I'm kind of curious what his approach and what his unit comp is going to be.
It's a weird skew, right? Like, initially in Imperial, you can talk about the edge of the Roost have. We mentioned the Streltsy before, also the cheaper artillery. But then you get to that hour point, and that hour plus, and everything on the map is gone. And the English are just smiling, going, hi-ho, here we go on the farms, right? Getting the food and the gold, which just makes them also, like, you know, villager efficient compared to the Rus. So, a little bit worrying if he allows it to go that late. He's finally getting rid of these outposts. They have been a pain in his ass. And he's starting to be a pain in LucifroN's ass, as he's once again going onto those back farms, first with man-at-arms, and now with knights.
Yeah, and he's also getting his own knights, so he will be going knight crossbow. And LucifroN, I think, is still on. Let me actually see. Yeah, but he's building up longbows. 18 longbows actually. That's quite a
Horsemen
lot.
as well. A lot of them at this rate, actually, with that production rate, yeah. More efficient switcheroo. Like, it kind of makes sense when you look at the state of the gold as well, right? He's running out of gold near his base, and then the other ones are far off on the left side. He's at least walling that up, so looks like he's trying to save up for a later timing instead, understanding that at this point, the English can easily afford food.
Oh, LucifroN is just getting wheelbarrow now, by the way. Oops. Those villagers that died earlier would have appreciated that wheelbarrow. I'll just say that.
I mean,
but, you know, it is what it is. Sacrifices were made.
as you say that, the poor monk.
Say that monk is just like, just take me.
Retired.
So anyway, I captured 2 sacred sites and a relic. That's it for me, guys.
He's like, well done. Hey, here's your reward. Wait, hold on a sec. Why am I being charged? It's your reward. Just to embrace it. Like these horsemen
That's
embrace
a lot of
the
units
spears.
from LucifroN.
Yeah, he's wrapping around. And that's archers and crossbows. A trade that is not going to favor MarineLorD here, especially if the attack speed buffer is there, which it is from the outposts. However, with so many knights, it looks like he's able to overwhelm. The horsemen will actually not tugging out enough of the archers. Now the longbows are stuck in the mud, and this built by LucifroN, a little bit greedy more than one way. Only pulling about 6 villages will not cut it. He is going to be denied on the keep. He's going to be forced away. The knights are trying to arrive now, but the ram gets through the outpost, so he's going to have to backstep to get the aura again. And it means MarineLorD is going to deny the keep and deny any sort of territory ground in the center for LucifroN.
Yeah, I'm very curious why he's not making knights, because he has 2.5k gold. I mean, these horsemen, if they were knights, right?
What?
They would... Oh.
LucifroN. All right, I guess he looked at his goal. He's like, whoa, pro gamer, screw this. I'm going to become a Swiss banker. Bye.
Yeah, that was... I don't know. That was a weird game. I'm not like, I understand the switch to horseman if he played another civ, because okay, you're playing against crossbows, so you go horseman. But you have longbows, and longbows beat crossbows. So if you go knight longbow versus knight crossbow, you actually win that fight by just sniping the crossbows extremely fast. But he made a switch to horseman, but he had gold, right? So there was no need to do that. He could have just made knight still. And what ended up happening is he had no answer for the Rus knights, because they just kind of beat down everything at that point.
I mean, I'm just trying to think the deeper process. Now stick with me, Beastie. Maybe LucifroN was like, English suck. I want them to get buffed more. Okay, I've lost this game. I've done my part.
Right.
Wave the white flag. Go game 4. That was incredibly, like, that felt quite premature. And I think you're right about the composition. Like, I don't get what's going on. Like, we're in the playoffs. This is the top 8 players, and this is like the third time today I've seen someone hoard gold and do nothing with it. What's going on?
Like, he was definitely gonna take some damage there, but I don't think that was necessarily game over. Like, he could have come back, but also I just like making the keep with like few villagers. I'm not sure why. Like, he saw, okay, so if this was like a surprise attack, I would be like, okay, he didn't know there's knight switch, but the knights were raiding him, so he knew that there were stables, right? He saw the crossbows when he was raiding him, but it just seemed like he didn't really take it serious and just kind of, if you rushed up that keep, the game continues, by the way. MarineLorD can push, and that's it. He goes back, right? And the game continues longer.
Yeah.
But it seems that maybe he either underestimated MarineLorD's army. Maybe he didn't expect the push. Maybe he saw the third TC and was like, okay, this is going late game. I'll make some horsemen. I'll greed out. But again, if he was struggling for gold and then with horsemen, I mean, I 100% get it. But the fact that he had 2.5k gold, maybe just got caught off guard with the army in the middle, and just the trade just did not go his way.
I mean, I'm starting to feel like LucifroN's just at a stage where he's like, oh, I've got to be up in the morning, right? Because I felt like this was happening last week up against his brother, where like he got 3 points on the board, felt really good, looked really good, and then he just kind of went into these quick game attempts, right?